Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I am going to be doing a hashtag. This one is called Deck Crush, and this was a collaboration between Dawn Michelle, Lisa Papez, Marlene Theresa, and Dani Mystic. And I loved it. I thought it was so cute, so fun, and although I do love tarot as a wonderful tool for many different things, I also love it for having fun with. So I wanted to jump on this hashtag. I knew I did immediately, but I really am feeling it today. So there are several different prompts, and I have added a couple of prompts from a couple of different ladies' videos that I have seen that have also done this. So there is a total of 8 prompts in this one. Or I'm sorry, well, 8 originally, but 2 that I've added. So there's 10. So the first prompt is, and I will be putting all these prompts and links to all of the collaborators' videos, as well as the 2 that I added their stuff. And I will go into that a little bit as I go on. So the first deck is Fling, the Fling, a deck with which you had a short period of wild times. Well, that would be Oracle of Green Mystics. And I'm still having a fling with this. So I don't know whether or not it's going to be long term, but right now I'm just really feeling this deck. It is so stunning. It is so, I feel this passion for the artwork, feel this passion for the messages. So it has definitely got my attention. And you know what, if I'm being honest, there's a few other decks that really have my attention right now, but I didn't want to go overboard with the amount of decks, so I chose this one. It is very much, and I love the backs. It's very much my aesthetic. It goes with tons of different tarot decks that I have. I did do a walkthrough of this deck. So, yeah. So that is Oracle of Great Mystics. I love it. So the next prompt is Puppy Love, the deck with which you were infatuated but couldn't make a long-term commitment with. 1 second. Okay, so that deck is Celtic Lenormand. This is my one and only Lenormand deck. So it is really, I do have a fascination with this, but I really just have not taken the time to learn the system yet. I've been too preoccupied with other things. So although I am keeping it because eventually I will get into Lenormand. At the moment, I'm not. But oh my gosh, the artwork, yes, this definitely reminds me very much of the Druidcraft. And I love the Druidcraft as well. So that was my Puppy Love, Celtic Lenormand. All right, so the next prompt is Friends with Benefits. This one says, a deck that you care about, but sometimes get extremely passionate for. And that is Uncover Your Past Lives Oracle. I think past life work is very important, or at least it's extremely important to me. However, I go in spurts. I do love this deck so much. I love what it brings to the table. Along with the book, there's so much exploration in this that it is, at certain times, I am very passionate about uncovering more and using this deck, and I'm never letting this one go. It's always going to be in my collection because of the value that it brings to my practice. But I do it in intervals, you know. There's times that I just get really passionate, something might come up, and I go, maybe that needs some exploration into my past life, or somebody else asks for one. So, because I do love doing past life readings. So, that would be that one. The Uncover Your Past Lives Oracle by Mandy Peterson. So that is the Friends with Benefits. The next one, the next prompt is Love at First Sight. A deck you loved from the very start. For me, there's actually a lot of them. But the most recent that I could think of that was absolutely, I mean, I was drawn in as soon as I seen it. I was like, I want this deck. And I had seen it prior, like, gosh, year and a half ago or so, but it no longer was available. It was out of print. And then when it came back in print, and I had discovered it came back in print, I was like on it right then and there, because I was instantly attracted to this artwork. And just, I knew I wanted to work with this deck. And I've worked with it quite a bit already, but I can tell there's a whole lot more work and it's going to be done. So, yes, that would be my Love at First Sight, and it's still Love at First Sight. The Pythonic Tarot. So the next prompt is a one-night stand. Now it says for this one, a deck that you tried out but moved on from almost immediately. Sometimes you still think about that deck. I do not have this deck anymore because I did pass it along, but it was the Hush Tarot. And I just don't think I was ready for it at that time. And who knows, maybe I'm not ready for it still. I don't know. I thought I was going to love it, and it was just, and I wanted to. It's just beautiful. The artwork is beautiful, but there was definitely a disconnect. Maybe because it's just really hard for me to look at decay. Maybe. I don't know. But it's not as hard now as what it was then. And that was a couple of years ago that I moved it along. And it didn't take long for me to realize that it just wasn't the right fit for me. So the next prompt is We Were on a Break. A deck that you are separated from for any reason. And although I still have this deck, and it is a separation, it is one that I hope I can get over my own limitations and try to use it. I did try, but it's just really difficult for me. And that would be The Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krantz. I do think that the artwork is super cool, actually. And I have thought about coloring it in, but I would probably screw it up because I have, like, no artistic talent whatsoever when it comes to drawing and writing. Plus, I would probably, like, do outside of the lines, and then I would be really upset with myself and then never absolutely use this deck again. So I don't do that. But I have an issue, and it was probably this deck that helped me realize that I don't necessarily like working with animal decks in tarot. I like animal oracle, but with the tarot, it just feels, and like I said, it's my own limitation, because I do think it's a super cool deck. And, you know, who knows, maybe in a year or two, I'll be ready. So I'm not getting rid of it, but I'm a work in progress where that's concerned. So that was my, we are on a separation, or we are in a separation. So the next one is, or we were on a break, sorry. Okay, so the next one is Marriage Material. A deck that has proven its value to you. And that would be the Greenwich Tarot. I You know, the funny thing is I held out on this deck for a very, very long time. Just because I had the Everyday Witch, and I thought that why would I need the Green Witch Tarot if I had the Everyday Witch? But they are just totally different energies. This one is more my jam. I love this world here. I love this world. My gosh. I mean, to watch a movie or read a book or to just lose myself in this artwork and imagine myself, you know, journeying in through these cards. Yeah. I mean, and I do have other ones too. I'm sure some of you were expecting maybe the Light Seers. Yes, marriage material. Bone, Stone, and Earth Flesh. Yes, absolutely marriage material. Tarot of the Sheet. Yep, marriage material. I have a whole bunch of them. Druid Craft. Yep. But this is the one that popped in my head first out of all those. So I had to honor it. So that would be the Green Witch Tarot for marriage material. And then the next one is Happily Ever After, your true love in a deck. And that's where we're bringing out the Bone, Stone, and Earth Flesh. This could fall into several of the characters. This was also, or several of the prompts. I love the book. It's a meaty book. It's so beautifully written. I can totally immerse myself in it. But also, Anna Turian's artwork. Yeah, I mean, I'm so in love with her artwork. It is true love for me. I mean, right there, the Fool, that has got to be like one of my most favorite Fools ever. And I'm all about the Fool, you know, about experiencing. That's how I see the Fool. Just love this deck so much. The only thing I don't like is the gilding. And eventually I'm going to probably try and get that gilding off, because it just did not last for me. But I used this deck a lot. So it has, you know, it's actually held up really well considering how much I've used it. But it is a true love's kiss, true love all the way, baby, right here. And then there's another one that is a true love as well, and that's the Forest of Enchantments, but I only wanted to keep one. That's another one I could just totally see myself either marrying or a true love, because I feel like it's that fairy tale world that you could just get lost in. But anyways, so the next prompt is, and this one came from Chanel over at Spirited Stardust. She said that she had seen the comment under one of the ladies, I think it was Don Michelle's, under one of her videos, or her video on this, talking about having a prompt for divorce. And I thought that that was great too, although I've never been divorced, but I can, you know, I understand the concept. So the divorce is the deck that you thought that you would be with forever, but ended up parting ways. And I do not have either of those decks either that I'm going to mention. One is the Joie de Vivre. I loved the artwork. I was so excited when I got it, and then it just kind of fell short for me. I just worked with it a few times, and it was a total disconnect for me. Maybe I just wasn't ready for it, because I am pulled to it several times, but the thought of getting it again, I don't know. The thought of, And then the other one is Shadowscapes. I love it so much. The artwork is so beautiful. But God, it always felt like such a struggle to see which card it was. And look, because there was just so much going on. And I already have this issue with, you know, having to really use like spreads and stuff like that in order to focus my my sight, you know, my intuition. And with it being so small and so much going on, but it being lighter toned, the combination of those things with it being more like pastel, it just didn't work for me. So I moved both of those along. I gifted both of those decks. Now, the other prompt is going to be, and this one was from Jenny over at Haunted Acre Farm, and that's her channel. And this was the one that got away. The one who got away. So for me, that is the Tarot of Delphi. I really, really wished I would have known about it at the time, because it is just, oh, it is superb. And it is one that I want. And maybe I'll get it if there's ever another printing. We shall see. If not, it's the one that got away. So I will be putting a link to all of these channels down below. And I will try to maybe put a picture of the Joie de Vivre and the Shadowscapes and the Hush Tarot and the one that got away, the Tarot of Delphi, on the screen so you can see them. Thank you for joining me, and I am sending you love always.